What's up? I'm all right, Georgie. How are you? Just watching a little bit of RuPaul's Drag Race, the new season. It's all right so far. I'm not loving it, but there's some shady bitches on this season, you can tell. I'll pause it. It's too loud. Friday nights. Yeah, it's a good Friday night. Thought I'd check in. Iron Maiden, Ed Force One, Run to the Hills, baby. I'm not a huge Maiden fan, but I love their t-shirts. Probably my favorite rock and roll t-shirt I have is an Iron Maiden shirt when they played the Forum and they have Eddie crawling out of the Forum. It's a very cool shirt. Did you see my Sun Devils? I'm not really watching football right now. Did you like rap back in the day? I like the Fat Boys, and I'm being serious. Well, hit the subscribe button, Iron Maiden. I'm not a huge rap guy. Like the Fat Boys, I like best rock band logo. I mean, Iron Maiden's is up there. I like Rat, the font, which is what. Thank you, Iron Maiden, which is what the Earl sign is based off of, the Rat font. I mean, Kiss is pretty iconic. The Killers, you know. Thank you very much, Iron Maiden. I appreciate every sub. Let me see what other cool band. I mean, Zeppelin's pretty iconic. You know, it's usually just a weird font that attracts me to a band. You know, Metallica, you know, is pretty iconic. Motorhead probably has one of the top, I guess, logos or fonts that you want. Van Halen's, you know, there's some great. Thank you. This is a beanie by Burton. I'm trying to think. Weezer, you know, is pretty cool. I mean, Motorhead, everyone wants a Motorhead t-shirt. What up? What up, Cola? I mean, even if you don't like Motorhead's music, now I used to date their manager, and you know, what is my name? I'm like, shouldn't you know by going on to the stream? My name is Earl Skakel. So no, it's not a beanie made by Richard Burton. It'd probably be a bottle of tequila. Yeah, Rolling Stones. Oh man, MLC is going on right now. You know, I don't want to go up, and I know Melton is going on right now, but you know, I just wanted to come on for half hour. So, hi, what is your name, Brow? Well, it should have told you when you hit click live. Earl Skakel, baby doll. Let's hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, especially if you don't know my name. I'm just a stand-up comic from Los Angeles, California, trying to navigate the wacky business of Los Angeles and Hollywood comedy. I might do more videos walking Lois. The problem is I have trouble reading the chat. Well, I might do an hour. Who knows? I like Kevin and those guys. Oh, well, thank you. Do you like Southern rock? I like Sweet Home Alabama. in terms of Southern rock, I mean, Jackal was kind of Southern metal. Wait, who are you? Batman, bitch. Um, I always wonder when people who don't know who I am ask me who I am. It's like if you clicked live, you probably saw my name. Um, but there's some people out there in the internet that aren't the smartest group, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know why these messages are held for review. Uh, have you been to Dick's Last Resort? I have not. I don't even know if that's a fictional club or you're just trolling me. Um, I never got the wrestling doll, but Magnum TA himself, the actual wrestler, refunded me my money, so I will um, give no, what was it? PowerTownWrestling.com. I will say that they took care of me. I like Leonard Skinner's story. I think they're still touring, but it's like down to like two original members. I really did want the Kamala doll, but I have one behind me right now. It's hidden. When I have a proper background, the Kamala doll will be displayed prominently. Until then, I can only show you this Kamala doll. Thank you, Queen On, very much. Life size, too. You notice he has no legs. That's, if you know, you know. Well, I appreciate the ride or dies. Dick's last, well, I get so many trolls in here. That's the only bummer about the stream becoming a little more popular. I mean, I'm not Mr. Beast by any stretch, but is that, you get more trolls. So, that's okay. You take the good with bad. It's the internet. Anyone can log on to someone's stream and start talking shit. So, and I'm pretty good with the trolls. I let them say their thing because usually trolls are so unfunny. I like to let them die on their own sword. But the only thing we don't tolerate in this stream is the racist stuff. I mean, I wish I had his followers. I mean, what does he have? 33 million subscribers, and I'll be happy when I get 3,000. But I don't really know a lot about him, to be honest with you. I don't know why he has so many subscribers, but I'm not against him. How do you think Nikki Glaser will do at the Golden Globes? I think she'll kill it. She's really good. And I know some of the people writing for her. She has some top roast style writers. I mean, my favorite Golden Globes host is Ricky Gervais, and I think she'll do a very good job. Can I have a good beef jerky? Geez, I don't know about that one, bro. I'm not a chef. I mean, I'd like to be a little more known than I am now, because then I could play theaters and the A-list comedy clubs and stuff like that. Do I want to be Mr. Beast? Probably not, but you imagine if Mr. Beast does a live stream. So, I mean, you always want what you don't have. He wants Russell. I mean, yeah, Russell's cool. I mean, do you know of Troy Bond? I don't, but he probably doesn't know of me. Spa, here's the beanie I'm talking about. I wore this for you. See, it's a Burton beanie. See, it's very, and so this is how it fits on my big head. See, it's a little baggy up top. Where do you rank George Carlin or Richard Pryor? I mean, two of the top 5 comics of all time. Definitely top 5. It's really hard to rank the top comics because it's all personal choice. I was in Real Rob. This beanie was worn in the Netflix show Real Rob. Um, Chappelle's up there, Chris Rock's up there. And then you get into kind of personal choice. I think I wore this hat to AEW as well. Um, and then, it kind of branches off into your own personal taste. Like I like Robert Schimmel, Stephen Wright, Don Rickles. If you like roast comedy, which obviously I do, you're going to like Don Rickles or Foster Brooks. It is not John Varvatos. It is Burton. See the little Burton logo there. Burton ski wear. John Varvatos. I do have a John Varvatos beanie, but I'm not going to lie to you, it's a little snug. This is really the only, and this beanie, listen, I don't get paid by Burton, but this beanie I got in, I believe, 2010. So, that's what, 14 years, and there's not a stitch loose on it. Now, there used to be a Burton store right across the street from the Hollywood Improv. It was gigantic. It's like 2 stories, had surfboards. I mean, I don't know how this place stayed in business, but they are not there anymore. Yeah, Kenneth and Dice obviously is a top 10 for me. Who else? Norm Macdonald. Halloween Havoc, 98. Because I think Halloween Havoc had potential to, it really was a great storyline. Warrior coming back. I remember that first night Warrior came back on Nitro and he did like the 28-minute speech. How did you get to meet John Varvatos? Well, I was in his store one time, and I used to like things baggier, like looser on me. So I think I went in there to buy a trench coat or something to get your mind out of the gutter. I just like the look, and the salesman David was like, "You're a 52." I'm like, "No, man, I want a 58." And we're kind of playfully arguing. He's like, "Listen, you're paying for it. You're paying for it so you can get whatever size you want. But if you want my opinion, and I do this for a living, you're 52." And there was this older dude, probably 10 years older than me. And he kind of comes over to me. He touches my shoulders, and then he touches my waist. And I'm getting ready to clock him. And he's like, "You're a 52." I'm like, "Who are you?" He's like, "John." I'm like, "Great, Earl." He's like, "John Varvatos." I'm like, "I'm a 52, Dave." Um, what up, Sean? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Stanhope guy, to be honest with you. I don't know. I just don't get why he's so highly regarded. But he's always very cool to me at the Comedy Store. So, um, I'm not hating on the guy. You like what you like. I watched one of his specials. He's got many, and I don't know. I just didn't get it. He kind of seemed bitter. Like, how are you this successful and you're this kind of fucking like? There's like a angry drunk vibe from him. But he's a cool guy. Like, no beef with him. And I always say that when I'm criticizing a comic, because I think when usually a lesser known comic criticizes a more known comic, it's like, "Oh, you're just bitter that you're not him," or whatever. I'm like, no, I just don't think I don't know. He doesn't make me laugh. Um, you like Fluffy? Not really, but he's a great guy. I met him once when me and Rob Schneider were in Schaumburg, Illinois at the Improv. And this shows you how popular Fluffy was. We had 3 shows on a Saturday night. I think it was 6, like 8 and 9 or something along those lines. And Fluffy did a 4th show after 3 sold out Rob shows at like midnight and sold it out. Yeah, my head's big, bro. Like it's almost a size 8. Just to give you, like, this beanie, it's big. I've stretched it out too, going like that. And maybe when I go to John Varvatos next time, I don't know who Troy Bond is. I like Jimmy Carr. He's more my style, I guess. Or I'm more his style. I'm trying to think, and Greg Giraldo, obviously. Yeah, that's about it. Um, he is a great stand-up. Leno's got a whole dark side to him that, unless you see him perform live, you never really see it. I mean, people who just are used to the Jay Leno on the Tonight Show. What up, Casey? Um, they would be shocked to see Jay's stand-up. It's kind of like Bob Saget. You watch him on, was it Family Matters? No. What show was Bob Saget on? I'm drawing a complete blank. Home Alone? What? Whatever show Saget was on, he was the complete opposite. Full House. I'm sorry, Home Alone. Thank you, Charlie, very much. You see his character in Full House, and then you see his stand-up, which was really dark. It's probably my favorite Comedy Store story for me personally. Is one night I was going on in the original room, and there was literally nobody in the room. And my friend Chelsea was she was working the cover booth. So she's like, "Hey, Earl, do you want to go on? Because there's literally nobody here but me. And I'd really like to go home." And I'm like, "I'll just do a few minutes. I've got to hear myself say these words over a PA system." And so I'm literally doing my act to Chelsea. Now, the cover booth, if you're on stage in the original room, it's over there. So I was kind of like this. And then out of the corner of my eye, I saw two people walking in, a tall guy and a black girl. And I instantly realized it was Bob Saget. And he's so cool that he sat in the back so I wouldn't disturb, or so he wouldn't disturb me, like, "Oh my God, it's Bob Saget." Or people would come in and, "Oh my God, that's Bob Saget in the front. Fuck this guy on stage." So he's sitting in the back, and I knew he liked really dirty humor. So I started doing the dirtiest jokes could think of, the Earl classics. Like, "Hey, everyone, do you know the Village People, only one of them was gay in real life?" And a lot of people ask me which one. I'm like, I'm going to assume it was the guy who died of you-know-what. And so I did about 10 minutes, and I was not killing, but I was doing pretty good. So the show ends, and we're all in the hallway talking, and Bob Saget just walks by me as he was leaving and goes, "Love the dark stuff." And it was pretty awesome to have Bob Saget give you the thumbs up. Yeah, I don't know. Something about that Jay Leno stuff does not sit well with me. I mean, we are not being told the full story about Jay Leno at some shitty hotel. I mean, I do think that his wife is very sick. So I don't know. Maybe he's fulfilling a need that his wife can no longer do, or whatever, something along those lines. But it just doesn't. I don't know. He seems to have gone crazy all of a sudden, and he's never been known. I mean, he's known as pretty much a straight-laced guy. So I'm not sure what's going on in Jay Leno's life right now, but there's I don't know, like that hotel he was found in, and I mean, I can't imagine. Someone said they think he might owe people money, but I can't imagine him. He doesn't touch his Tonight Show money. The only money he really spends is his stand-up money, which is substantial. So he's got like probably a couple hundred million in the bank he doesn't even touch. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to stay in the Hampton Inn. I don't stay where the poors go. Although, yeah, 100%. I have a dark side. I have a dark side that people rarely see, like dark in terms of anger, or whatever. 100%. That's what I'm saying, Spa. Um, Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make sense that he would owe people money. Um, I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars in residuals, and I think his salary was something like 14 to 20 million dollars. So, all right, we have another message held for review. All right, I mean, Grasshopper, I'm going to show that one. We don't hide anything here in the Earlverse. I'm not sure what you want me to do with that one, but I guess congratulations. I'm kind of liking Matt Gates. Apparently, he just downed Blue Chews with energy drinks. I mean, who hasn't done that over 40? But I saw him on his new show, and man, I don't know, either the makeup person did a really good job or a really bad job, but like he looked a little rough, to be honest with you. Um, I mean, if you think about it, he's accused of all these weird sexual crimes. He'd make the perfect attorney general. He knows what to look for. Hello, a little joke for you guys, a little improv joke for you guys there. I got to get ready for the Pittsburgh Steeler game tomorrow. They've lost like 3 or 4 in a row, so tomorrow's actually kind of a big game for them. And it sucks because I think eventually they're just going to have to play the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City, and that ain't going to end well. So I'm already looking forward to next season. And we don't have Fields and Wilson signed for next season. This year was kind of a cool deal because basically Denver was paying all of Wilson's salary. Next year, So, we got some problems coming up in Pittsburgh. And of course, Pickens must be something in the water with the Pittsburgh wide receivers. You got Antonio Brown, he kind of went a little nutty. Deontay Johnson kind of went a little nutty. Now Pickens has gone a little off the wall. So, and now, sure enough, Kenny Pickett's playing pretty good for Philadelphia. Now, granted, he's on a good team, but, I always felt bad for Pickett. He kind of got the Jared Goff treatment out of LA, and now he's on a good team in Philly. So, I'm kind of rooting for Pickett. I mean, Jesus Christ, he had like Matt Canada as his offensive coordinator. And I don't know if Arthur Smith is that much better than Matt Canada, to be honest with you. But, enough Steeler football talk. This is an old school stream tonight. We got the cool kids in the house. Not a lot of trolls tonight. None right now, but I'm expecting that to change on a Friday night. I know a lot of trolls ain't getting no pussy, so they got plenty of time to log on to a live stream on a Friday night. Trust me on that one. By the way, speaking of logging on, I'll be at the Comedy Store tomorrow night. 12:15, my usual closeout spot in the Kennison, Holtzman, Brody, Tripoli spot. It is now the Skakel spot. So thank you very much. I know where the pores go. I'm just kidding around. I just think that's so funny when MJF, the wrestler, says, "I'm not like all you pores." Well, that's my favorite shirt on AEW right now. Shopaew.com. I'll give them a little plug. They have a gray sweatshirt that says, "I'm not a poor." No, it says, "I am a poor." That's pretty funny. I almost bought it, but it's it's not a zip-up hoodie. I can't wear hoodies that aren't zip-up because my head's too big. I don't want to struggle putting on a hoodie at my ripe old age of 56. So let me give a shout out to the Earl sign, of course, with the Sting mask. Thank you very much. And I finally figured out, I've just found out that like literally my last 40 sets from the main room at the Comedy Store have been taped and recorded in 4K capability. So I will be, now there's going to be a lot of the same jokes on these sets, but I will be releasing some shorts, and maybe on Patreon I can finally put out full-length sets of my Comedy Store. Of course, I got in trouble for posting the full set one time on YouTube, but since Patreon's just for the fans, I think I'm going to revamp my Patreon page and put some, it's been a while since I've put some new clips up there. Because frankly, I'm trying to put everything on YouTube right now, and so far so good. I believe we're pretty close to cracking the 3,000 subscriber mark, which isn't a tremendous amount, but considering last year about this time I had 1,250, I'll take it. And hopefully, this time next year I'll be at, I don't know, 10,000. That's a big leap, but listen, I've almost more than doubled my channel in less than a year, so maybe it's not that big. So you don't want to see my dark side. I'm American. So am I. Well, I mean, my dark side is more, you guys know me. I hold a grudge, and I'll always get my revenge. I'm literally like a one-man Mossad. You might think we are good, and I will get my revenge. I don't believe in karma through other vehicles. A lot of people come up to me and tell me about certain people that I have beef with or sick now, and like doesn't make me feel better. I had nothing to do with the illness. I want a direct link to my karma. So, but I shouldn't be like that. I should just let things go. But as you guys know, I think when you let things go and you just wait for the universe to take care of it, you set off a giant bat signal of, hey, you can fuck me over. I'm never going to do anything about it. Not me, baby. So, that's one thing I wish I could change. But, at the age of 56 years old, oh, did I miss someone? Oh, I'm behind. Waiver, 99 cents. Thank you very much. I do believe MJF. So for some reason, I'm behind in the stream. So let me. Sorry about that. Gina Bobina in the house. I'm really behind. Well, someone's got to ask me to do something for free, and then I'll say that. Sorry, I don't know what happened here. I got very behind. So, did you ever see Bill Cosby's act back in the day? I did not. Does Wilson resign? Resign. Sorry, resign. I mean, I think he likes it in Pittsburgh, but he's not going to get 39 million like he's getting this year from Denver. Earl watched I did watch Fat Albert. I did watch. I Get Man Ass. All right, good for you, I guess. Boozy. I think Saget was filthier off stage, but in like real life, sexually, I think Cosby definitely takes the cake. I mean, when you have like 80 accusers, they ain't all lying, brother. Taylor Tomlinson with the fake laugh on cans is something else. I mean, I don't watch After Midnight, but I'd like to be on it. MJF did steal that from me. Thank you, Waver, very much. You've been locked and twerked. I don't know what that means. Noise. All right, 69 cents for Earl. Yeah, with the YouTube's cut. Come on. Okay, I could go without that. Information grasshopper. Top tier patrons get to stay on Earl's couch for 1 weekend a month. There's not enough money on the world that can make that happen. Earl, I've been getting crazy donations the last couple days. I have, for me, but I'll take it. With those glasses, can I see the furniture in the future? You got to get a new line, baby. You got to get a new line. I've heard that before. This is online panhandling. So will you even up the score with Melton? I'm good with Melton. There's no score to settle with Melton. I know a lot of people have beef with the guy. I'm not one of them. Hey, Earl with the edibles. I don't know why I'm so far behind in this stream. We have a special guest alert. I don't know who that would be. This message held for review. I'm not that funny without your tight ass. All right. See, Grasshopper, I don't hide anything What's your favorite black TV show? Well, I mean, The White Shadow kind of counts as a black TV show, but if that doesn't, oh, thank you very much, Jeremy. I appreciate that. I would say Good Times and What's Happening. Uh, I mean, I saw a comic the other night at the Comedy Store do a P Diddy joke. Who, let's just say, should not have been doing a P Diddy joke. Uh, so okay, now we're caught up. I think we're caught up. Sorry about that. Uh, I'm not sure what that means, Grasshopper. Your humor is eluding me. Sanford and Son was very good. I think Lamont Wilson's kid went to my grade school because I always saw him picking up some kid at my grade school when I was in grade school. What's Happening was great the first couple years. And I was watching, I think it was a season 1 episode. Man, they were fucking hammering Rerun with fat jokes. I mean, that had to be a really tough experience to be Rerun and you're the butt of every fat joke. I mean, that had to be brutal. Um, but, I mean, just like every joke was just geared at him being a fat slob. Leilani is going to the store tomorrow. I've made her the offer, but she has not reached out to me on Instagram for info on how to. Yes, I love me some Vice Squad. When of course we can't say Ramrod's line to him on the stream, but all right. I mean, Grasshopper, you're bombing in my stream, but that's fine. Uh, oh, he killed it. He was a great dancer. One of the maybe the first in that late '70s, early '80s. Break dancers. He was, even given his size, he was a very good dancer. I mean, him along with Shabadoo Quinones were two of the great break dancers of that time frame. Why is Rohan not even at your a push? He knows you guys, right? Rogan. I mean, I don't know. I can't answer for that. I mean, I certainly think me and Rick would be very funny on the show, but I don't know who Peter Fogel is, Chicken Man. Um, I mean, Rogan, to be honest with you, Jeremy. I mean, that would, um, absolutely be a game changer for me. It would give me instant exposure. And, I mean, but, he doesn't like to be asked. So I can't really, I just have to hope one day someone says, "Hey, why don't you have Skakel on?" And then I get the call. Outside of that, I would say I don't know if I would say Gutfeld is a dream gig, but it certainly would help raise my visibility. And I don't think you like become super famous from the gig. The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon would be cool to say, "Hey, I finally got on the Tonight Show." Um, I mean, Moses, I think I can explain for the Chicken Man. He is Kevin Brennan's brother. Um, I mean, I don't know. Some of the people who got on the Netflix is a Joke Festival were open mic level comics. So that actually is not a dream gig for me. I'd still like to do it, but it's far from a dream gig for me. He should have when Rerun should have when to the Dead instead of the Doobies. He wouldn't have gotten bust 100%. And the guy who played the bootlegger, he was a pretty famous actor. I think his last name, I think it was Dennis Wilson, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I can't play the guitar like Joe DeVito. I don't think. you know, None of these gigs change you. I mean, Rogan's really the only gig that still could change your career, in terms of like um, the exposure. I mean, you just can't beat the exposure. I mean, he's the number one podcast by far in terms of comedy podcast, and his reach is just gigantic. So, like right now, I have about 12,000 followers on X and Instagram. I'd wake up the next day with at least 50,000. That's just the reach that he has. Tyler, the creator's fucking awesome. He's just nice, says please, he says thank you. I mean, he gets it. I mean, Grasshopper, you're really bombing right now, but I'm going to show all your, I don't know why I could fall asleep to your voice. A lot of people said I should be the closing announcements at a methadone clinic. But Tyler's awesome. He just gets it. He gets how people should be treated. And, I have no complaints about um, how I was treated on the jellies. Well, but I mean, they've already got the bump. I'm someone who hasn't gotten the bump yet. Um, you know, so, Cal and Shab probably, I don't know how many Instagram followers those guys have, but, they have probably 100,000, 200,000 followers. So, yeah, I mean, you reach a point where it doesn't help you anymore because, um, you've maxed out what you can do. But someone like me, who's kind of a relative unknown. I mean, I'm known, but I'm not known. All the comedy clubs I email, hey, can I headline a weekend? They would message me back instantly. And even Gutfeld, I know like Jamie Lassau and Adam Hunter, their theater gigs have exploded because of that show. So it's not going to change your life, but it definitely can help. I mean, this business is all about exposure. Yeah, yeah, I mean, well, I hang out with people at the Comedy Store. Um, yeah, I mean, that's exactly. I mean, Rogan. Every time he mentions my name, this shows you the power of Rogan. Is that even when I've never been on the show, but he's mentioned my name several times. I'll get 100 followers like that, 200 followers. I mean, the one time he was talking about my entrance against Jesse Joyce. Because he was judging that battle to Jeff Ross. And it's so funny because Jeff was on the show and Rogan was like really talking me up to Jeff. And you could see Jeff like literally getting uncomfortable because he knew he couldn't say anything bad about me because Rogan was said you're wrong or whatever. So he just had to take it. So I don't know. Joe's Joe. Like he likes who he likes, and like there's different levels of helping people. Obviously, Brian's got probably the most popular show at the mothership in terms of stand up, not Kill Tony, but stand up show on Thursday nights. So, oh, 100%. I think Joe was throwing a little shade at Jeff. It's so funny. If you watch that episode, and I think I put out a clip recently on my shorts, and, they're talking about roast battle, and then Joe just, what about Earl Skakel's entrance the other night? And you can see literally Jeff going, like, he's twisting in his chair. Because I know Jeff enough where he's going, Jeff is very calculating, and he's not dumb. He's like, okay, how do I play this off? I can't say anything bad because Joe's gloating about Earl. This is the #1 podcast I'll ever get on as anyone else. I just got to take it. What up, Iris? I think you can ruffle feathers if you go on Jay Moore podcast. I think he liked controversy. I think Joe would laugh at Jesse Lee Peterson because Jesse's relentless. Oh, 100%. Because here's the thing about the Tonight Show. Even though I'd still like to do it, you're on it, and then it gets replayed maybe once or twice, and then that's it. I don't even think they really blast it out on social media that well. But on Rogan, it's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's cut up into clips, and then you've got the clippers who like, can you imagine if I got on Rogan like Stalin 19 and Doom and all these Dabbleverse clippers? They'd clip the shit out of that. So it just gets thrown out there. Do you think Jay Moore hit the jackpot with the Lakers owner? Yeah, I mean, I went to Jay Moore's podcast. because I have a funny story. The only time we ever met was at Ralphie May's memorial, and Jay was very good friends with Ralphie, and Jay was too broken up to go on the stage and talk about Ralphie, as we all were. And, we literally, my friends were like, hey, show him the picture. So I showed Jay Moore my dick pic, and it made him laugh, and he got up there. Um, but you know what I'm saying? Like, even though, this is obviously not a Dabbleverse related stream, but all those people, hey, Earl's on Rogan, clip it, clip this, clip that, whereas any late night talk show that you're doing stand up on, whether it be Colbert or the Tonight Show or whatever, you just kind of do it once and then that's it. So that's why, you hit the nail on the head. Rogan is absolutely the new Tonight Show. It's a 3 hour fucking interview to millions of people. That's, on the Tonight Show or Colbert or whatever, and don't get me wrong, I'd like to do either show. You're on there for 4.5 minutes. And usually, like my friend Laura Peak, she got the couch on the Tonight Show. But I had another friend who was on Colbert, he was just on for the 4.5 minutes. Thank you very much. That's the show, ladies and gentlemen. So it's a real short look into your comedy skills. But, a 3 hour interview with Joe Rogan, your comedy will be exposed, good and bad. Like, you better keep up with Joe. What's the best advice you ever received in your career? I didn't receive a lot of advice, to be honest with you, and it's probably why it took me so long to make it, whatever making it is to you. But Jeff Richards, when I was opening up for him and Rob Schneider, I was the host, Jeff was the feature, Rob obviously the headliner. And Jeff I think I had a bad set one night somewhere, Cincinnati or something. And just like, your material's good, but you don't sell it. You have to sell every word like you're God. And that has stuck with me to this day. Like, when I'm, you can see it in the most recent short I released a few hours ago. I speak like I believe everything I'm talking about. And, Jeff was right. You have to go up there and fake the confidence if you don't have it. You really do. And, I've learned to, it's the old saying, fake it till you make it. But, like, it's true, though. You have to go up there and act like everything you're saying is gospel. Jimmy Carr gave me a good advice on a joke. He's like, try it this way. Like, I was in the belly room once, and Jimmy has an energy like fucking Darth Vader, man. He's in the room. And I've been told I have that same energy. And so I did a joke, and I forget the joke, but he came up to me after. He was like, hey, that's a really funny joke, but try it this way. And so the next time I did the joke, I tried it his way, and his way got a bigger laugh. So if you go on Rogan, you're at least guaranteed 500,000 views on all platforms. Yeah, it's like crazy. And I know it would be a good interview with me and Joe. So, yeah, 100%. There's certain people who've been passed at the Comedy Store because they have a lot of followers. I don't know, Spa. I really don't know. He's charmed. It's... that's one of the great mysteries to me as to why he works so much. But, I got to start, in 2025, I got to start worrying about myself. And then just hope that, that takes care of itself. Your energy is more like Aunt Beru. What is that from? Why is that name so familiar to me? Well, I don't think you let Joe figure that out. I don't go on. It's like in the wrestling world when they say young wrestlers get into trouble because they go and say they have a match with, I don't know, any big wrestler, Hulk Hogan, Bruiser Brody, whatever. That's what they say happened with Lex Luger and Bruiser Brody. You're right, William. is like Lex Luger was a very green wrestler, very young, and he walked into the locker room and told Bruiser Brody, "Hey, I want to do this, I want to do that," and Bruiser Brody's like, "Yeah, no problem, kid." And then Bruiser Brody literally beat the shit out of him for 10 minutes. So I would let Rogan dictate the pace, and I'm very quick, so there's not a lot that Joe could throw at me that I'm going to be caught off guard with. Um, yeah, I mean, my relation to the Kennedys would be brought up. I'm sure Joe would ask me about Michael Skakel. I'm sure someone would message Joe, "Hey, ask Earl about Jeff." That would be brought up. No, I would talk about anything. You don't go on Joe Rogan and give him demands. That's the quickest way for the interview to be canceled. 100% leather pants. Leather pants and a rat. I've already picked my outfit out. I don't know if Rogan likes my humor, to be honest with you. I mean, no, I was at the mothership a few months ago, and I did well. I mean, Paulie came up to me like a week after I got back from the mothership and goes, "Bro, I heard you killed at the mothership." And then he just walked away. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a few months ago. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, Harlan's great. So, I think at some point I'll get on Rogan, but like I said, I know he hates to be asked. So you just kind of, you just let it happen. And if, be honest, would you bring up the Dabbleverse on Joe Rogan? No, I would not bring up Ray DeVito on the Joe Rogan podcast. I mean, I might bring up, actually, I take that back. I might bring up your brother and just go how I'm obsessed with Kevin Brennan and how he's turned a personality of bitter and angry into a profitable cash cow. I don't think Paulie's ever said Brendan Schaub kills, but I don't know. I don't really keep up with what Paulie thinks about Brendan Schaub. Hey, we got about 15 more minutes here. Hit the like and subscribe button, pretty please, and we'll have a nice end of Friday night stream. What do you do for a living? Well, I've made 99 cents doing this stream, so not this. I am a stand-up comic and voiceover actor based in Los Angeles, California, my man. So I do animation gigs. Tomorrow night I'm at the Comedy Store, 12:15 in the a.m. I find Kevin to be very funny. I mean, he's definitely the funniest person in the Dabbleverse, if you will. Yeah, you're right, 69 cents. Oh, thank you, Celine. I'm just trying to, I'm trying to show a little skin, baby, so I can make the money, honey. Now, I can't say when I took that picture, someone took that picture that I no longer speak with, so we'll just leave it at that. We have another message held for review. Thank you, Celine. Come to the Comedy Store. My first voiceover gig was my best voiceover gig. The Jellies on. You're going to use it as your phone screen. Well, I'm humbled and honored. Do you work with Bob on? I don't know what that is. I don't know who that is. So yeah, I'm humbled and honored that I will be on your phone screen. And when you're with friends, people are gonna go, "Who the fuck is that?" But you know what? If you know, you know. 10 more minutes, guys. I love older guys, just saying. Well, listen, I'm 56. I am an older guy, so I fit your criteria. Thank you very much. You've got some competition with Leilani Montgomery, but, whoever meets me at the Comedy Store first. I'm just kidding. But if I'm ever in your city, Celine, please come to the Comedy Store, or I'll come to whatever comedy club is in your neck of the woods, not knowing where you are. And Bob is Mark. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm not familiar. Gilly is going to get jelly. I think me and Gilly were just fucking around. So, I mean, Grasshopper, you're really starting to lose it. I like Devo. Freedom of choice. She was a mongoloid, and then Whip It. Whip It's a great, weird video as a kid, but um, I mean, Devo was huge. I had a Devo poster above my bathtub. Uh, Whenever Earl says he's just kidding, he's not kidding. Well, it depends. I don't know. I can't answer that. Uh, I'm using it as my phone screen. Well, if you think the top half is good, the bottom half's even better. Hello. Um, so thank you, William Zoom and Gina Babina, for being the mods tonight. Kip Smith, he got the night off. I did not. My head is way too big to wear one of those Debo hats. Trust me on that one, Zoom. I can barely wear this fucking beanie, and this beanie is big. What's your go-to thing to eat? Pussy. I'm just kidding. That was too easy. Um, my vibrator shakes for your pictures. Well, thank you very much. I like health food, so eggs are always on my diet. I hope so, or sucks. I mean, it's starting off good, but I got to get moving. 57. I'll be 57 in September, so you know, I got to get moving. Not many 56-year-old comics pop, to be frank. But that's the beauty about YouTube and TikTok and all these other things, that you can really make your own path without an agent or a manager. And then, of course, once you get to your own path, they want to help you. It's like, why not help me now? Let me eat that. Jesus, Celine's coming in hot. Can make any size hat. Same as any piece of clothing, really. Life goes fast. It does go fast. And in the comedy world, it goes even quicker than the real world. So, I got to hurry up, is what I'm saying. And hopefully something good happens to me this year. I mean, that's the thing. You get on Rogan and bam, you're in theaters. But only if it's a good interview. I've had friends of mine who went on Rogan and they only got a couple hundred followers because it was a bad interview. And not because of Joe. It's just like, you got to be ready with stories and, like all the gangbang stories I could tell. And, it can't be just, hey, tell me about the wackest comedy gig, Earl. So a young scout. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want a partner, but, I see what you're saying. Like, you put me with, say, Maton. He's young and like snooty, and I'm kind of old and bitter, or whatever you want to call it. So, you've got to, but, right now, I'm a great guest because I talk a lot, but I also know, when to be quiet. Like on Corolla, me and him had good chemistry. Yeah, but you don't want two white guys the same age. Although it would be a good podcast, I think. You either got to have an old person with a young person, or an old guy with a young girl, or a young guy with an old girl. That'd be funny. So, I know. I mean, I was on stage the other night at the Comedy Store, and I started doing a Stallone joke, and the girl in the front row is like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "You've never heard of Sylvester Stallone?" And she's like, "Basically, who the fuck is that?" So, I don't know who you're talking to, Black and Blue. Is your name based off the band? Hold on to 18. Hold on to 18. You don't want a David Spade. I mean, I would love to have something like that. I mean, this stream is about as high tech as I can get. I would love to walk into a fucking podcast studio, not have to do a thing, but sit down and talk. I mean, I did about 6 or 7 episodes with Chandler. So it was always my podcast, but she was a co-host, I guess, on about 6 or 7 episodes. Well, thank you, Celine. I appreciate that. Here's another message, Elva review. I think Grasshopper and Black and Blue are doing a roast battle or something. Um, I mean, at this point, I'm not going to turn down any gigs. I'm going to 5 more minutes, guys. 5 more minutes in the Earl world. Friday night stream. We're just chilling in here right now. I would love to do a podcast, something along the lines of like Santino and Bobby Lee, something of that nature. I mean, I need to get my name out there more, which is why I did like Jesse Lee Peterson and Adam Carolla, and then the next step is Santino's podcast, and then Rogan, and then yes, Last Call, Gina Bobina in the house, William Zoom on the ones and twos, Earl, and I don't think that would be unfortunately for me and Leslie to do a podcast together, we'd have to be speaking. And good night, Queen on. MLC was fun to do. I mean, listen, it's I'm excited where my YouTube channel is going. I mean, it's definitely improving. It's pretty cool to say I've doubled my subscribers from 1 year ago, but I'm still at a very low subscription rate. But anytime you can double your numbers, it's great. But I mean, that's different with Spade and Carvey because they're best friends. So there's a chemistry there that, I mean, me and Leslie would be funny because she's loud and aggressive, and I'm kind of dry and sarcastic and almost passive aggressive with my words and whatnot. So, I think me and Gutfeld would get along. So yes, it's very easy to follow me. For those of you, I mean, I thought of just walking around, Jeremy, interviewing homeless people. Like how fun, no one does that. Like I'm really surprised that there isn't a stream where people just walk up to random homeless people and go, "Tell me about yourself, Larry. What got you to this point?" And it wouldn't be making fun of them. It would be like, I really think you could get some good stories out of these people. But, I mean, I'm always thinking of what can I do. If someone gave me an idea of a stand-up special where you literally just take the mic and you walk down Sunset and you see someone coming, you do one joke to them, you move on, do another joke to the guy sitting at the bus stop. People do interview homeless people? Well, there you go. There goes that idea. You need a co-host who's very famous. Yeah, that would help. 2 more minutes, guys. We are at the 2-minute mark. Thank you, Waver, for your donation. And sells them to help the homeless. A gay guy got beat with a pipe at Popeyes in Hollywood by a homeless dude for getting his food too quickly. Not a good idea. I mean, yeah, there's some definite wild cards in the homeless community. I mean, I know a lot of the West Hollywood homeless. You just you see them every day. So I'm cool with the West Hollywood homeless people, but you gotta really watch out. There are a lot of unhinged people. Yeah, I mean, I might take my, I'm trying any and all things to break the YouTube algorithm. My first video I ever released was my throw up scene in Benchwarmers, and I think to this day, it's got a little over 100,000. And I thought, oh, this is easy. Every video I'll put out will get 100,000 views. But, you live and learn. And 1 more minute, guys. We've got 1 more minute left in the Earlverse. I'll say what I want to say, Grasshopper, you son of a bitch. That's just how I talk. You don't like how I talk? Go to MLC or Melton right now. Enjoy that. Enjoy talking about Ray DeVito for 20 minutes. Invite the homeless to stay with you. No, I'm good on that, William Zoom. I'll invite them to your house. You put them up, and then we'll do a Zoom interview. Homeless people are mentally, 100%. Not all of them. Some of them, I have a friend of mine who's homeless. He could totally get a job. But he's like, bro, I make $200 a day in cash. Because he's kind of a good-looking guy, but he's just a little out there. Well, yeah, I mean, people complain about how I talk and, the subject, wrestling and whatever I talk about. Oh, this is boring. Well, go to the Dabbleverse. See how that grabs you. So that is it, guys. This has been a 1 hour Friday night stream. I'll probably stream tomorrow. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow during the Steeler game if they're losing. We'll just keep it running, baby. Thank you, Waver, very much. You're welcome, Miran. Yes. Well, that would be hard to understand me. Grasshopper, just hit the subscribe button, you fool. I love you, Gina. Good night.